All right, everybody. So we are going to get going here. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. My name is Henry Skey. I am the webinar guru and distribution manager over here at RingPartner. Very, very excited to bring you the first in a hopefully very long series of marketing plan videos under the RingPartner University umbrella. So we have some great webinars talking about sort of, the grand scheme of things, how to get how to get approved on campaigns. What do I do if my campaign isn't converting? But I mean, there's only so much meta stuff you can talk about before, or uh, talking about sort of generalizations before getting really specific and getting into the nitty gritty. And that's basically what these webinars are designed to do, is that we're going to go into specific campaigns and tell you, our publishers, exactly what kind of calls the buyer is looking for. We try and put as much information as we can in the campaign overview, but there's usually a lot more to it than just that. We've listened to a lot of calls. These campaigns we're going to do webinars on have been on the network for quite some time. So we have a pretty good indication as to what the buyer is looking for, but more important to you is what are they, what kind of calls are they looking for, but how do you get approved? How do you send good quality calls? It's all about sending good quality. So thank you all again for joining me. It's not going to be as long as our usual webinars, but we've got certainly got a few good slides here with some really good information that I hope you guys have a pen and paper or a computer ready, and that you can write some of these down. Of course, I should mention that this webinar will be made available on our blog and lots of other outlets for you to enjoy later. If you have any questions, please save them until the end, and we will go over them then. All right. Well, without further ado, let's get going. Okay. So the fundamentals, what is Empire Today? So Empire Today is pretty much one of the biggest brand names we have in terms of carpeting and flooring and home improvement. We have a lot of home service offers. This is absolutely one of our best ones. The brand itself has been around for over 50 years. You've probably heard their very catchy jingle, and I'll try it right now. What is it? The one where they say the number and they go Empire. See, I'm not a good singer. I'm not even going to try it, but it's really catchy. We'll have to look it up. I should have provided a link, but they've got major television coverage, radio coverage across the United States. So we're not doing a marketing plan for some one-man operation out of a garage in Philadelphia. This is a nationwide company that's been around for a long time and has really good budgets in terms of advertising. So like I said, if you're looking for sort of reasons as to why you'd want to run this campaign, we've done hundreds of thousands of paid calls with Empire over the last year. They're one of our top converting campaigns month after month. And there's a reason for that. They provide a very easy to understand service. So sometimes with financial offers or, what have you, it'll be difficult to kind of get the callers calling in. It's hard to prime them. It's hard to make them understand, what they're calling in for, especially with things like taxes and student loan. There's a lot of variables in there that they may not know before they call in. The good news with Empire is that it's pretty self-explanatory. Empire Carpets and Flooring is looking for users who want to install or repair their flooring. That's basically it. There's no, trickery. There's no you don't have to convince people to buy a house and then sign up for Empire. It's just, everybody's got, probably a room in their house that they're not wild about, that they think they could, make look better. And why not start from the ground up? Why not start with a new carpet or floor or laminate or ceramic tiling and all this great stuff? So easy to understand service. So it's not hard to pitch, to be honest, it's not hard to explain to you why it's so good, and it's not hard to sort of, make the caller understand what it is they're calling in about. So let's talk about the rates. So the rate, and again, we'll start at the street rate, which is right now $21 for a 90-second duration. And I'll remind you guys, I know you know this already, but I'll remind you that a duration, we're talking about connect duration. So that means that they have to get through our IVR and then get transferred to the buyer. So that means that if they spend, let's say, 20 seconds in the IVR and then they get transferred and the call lasts maybe 30 seconds and they get hung up on, that's not going to count as a paid call to you. So keep that in mind. We're looking for a 90-second connect duration. I mentioned the street rate of $21. Pretty competitive, but the good news is that there is room to move on those rates. And I'll tell you in a little bit how to do that. But basically, we can get you more, but it'll rely on a couple of factors. But we've had a lot of our top partners now are well beyond the $21 rate, but it's to be honest, it really is a measure indicative of quality. To be honest, so rates change all the time, so don't pay too much heed to that. Instead, talk to us, and we'll see what we can make work for you. All right, and I should mention the hours. Of course, it is 24/7, which I know is really handy for a lot of our partners that are in different time zones, or maybe across the Pacific or across the Atlantic, and they have to worry about running ads when obviously no one's going to call in, or calls aren't going to get paid for. These will count 24/7. The ones you want to be careful for are the geos, and I will go into that in a little bit more detail later on. So the IVR is pretty simple. I tested it a couple times before the webinar. It's working great. It's basically going to be saying, if you are a new customer looking for information or a booking, press 1. If you're calling about an existing appointment, press 2. Okay, so here's the meat and potatoes of this slide. We're looking for press ones. As usual with most of our other campaigns, we're looking for new business. If we see, someone press 2, it'll either hang up on them and it's going to hurt your conversion rate, or if it does get transferred through, it's not going to count as good quality. But basically, we're looking for people that need new appointments. We don't want people that have already paid Empire and then are calling to say, hey, thanks for the carpet, it's great, or hi, can you hear me? I'm stopping on my new tile floor right now. Boom, 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 boom. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for new customers. That should be your mantra. New customers. Breathe in, breathe out. New customers. Breathe in, breathe out. That does it for the fundamentals. Let's try targeting. So the campaign overview will have specific zip codes that you need to target. Don't run this campaign and not look at that list. I beg you. It's really crucially important that you target appropriately, because if a call comes in from outside those zip codes, doesn't matter how good it was, doesn't matter how bad it was, you will not be paid for that call. So keep that in mind. If you're ever unsure, if you see a call go through and it came in the right geos and during the right hours, but for whatever reason it didn't count, please hit me up, ask me. I'll be happy to look into it. It may be a repeat caller, or it may be outside the region, or it could just be straight up be an error in tracking, but that's usually not the case. So there usually be a pretty good reason as to why your calls didn't count. So if you're confused about that, please ask H. Skey, your webinar guru. He'll be able to help. So what is the campaign targeting? Who do you want to target? You want to target the following people. You want to target homeowners. Now, actually, we'll go into a little bit more detail later on about this, but you can actually target apartments as well. But most of the time, we're looking for homeowners. We need people that are going to be able to make decisions with any, kind of renovations, or, building a house or something like that. You want to make sure that you're dealing with the homeowners. You definitely don't want to deal with someone who maybe lives in the house but won't have the authority to make that decision. So use a little language that that homeowners would use. Throw the word equity in there. That's always great. No, I'm just kidding. But do your research. I don't own a home myself, so I would not be a good target. Somebody asked me that once in a webinar, like, Henry, are you a good customer to target? And I'm not going to go into I'm not going to go into that. But hey, when I own my place one day, own a home, I would probably go through Empire. They've got some pretty good deals. So keep that in mind. The holiday season is coming up, and really there's always some kind of holiday or event coming up where people are going to be coming over. Is it the summer? Do you have family visiting? Oh, get a new floor. Is it Christmas coming up and I know you're going to have family over for the holidays? Well, hey, why not show off a brand new kitchen floor, dining room floor, something like that. You always want to express urgency. Don't sort of, obviously you don't want to be too hostile and aggressive and be like, hey, you, buy a flooring right now. But you do want to sort of persuade them, right? You do want to indicate to them that timing is everything, and there's a little bit of a sense of urgency. Maybe you're highlighting the great sale that Empire has going on right now, or a great promotion. But I mean, really, you want to really persuade people to pick up the phone and start calling. You want them calling into Empire. You don't want to say something like, Hey, you never know. You might need a new floor one day. In 6 months' time, you should keep this number handy. They're not going to keep the number handy. They're not going to call in 6 months. Get them calling today. If they're talking to Empire and they're kind of on the fence, Empire themselves might be able to, persuade them, give them a deal, give them, some insight as to why, getting a good flooring now, it's obviously it's nice to look at, but it's also safer. You're not tripping on any, loose ends or anything like that. It's easier to clean. Maybe the old one's gross. You want to get rid of it. There's a number of different reasons that you can, really express urgency to the caller before they call in. And I really want to emphasize bookings. This is what we're looking for. If you send in a bunch of paid calls, but nobody is really setting appointments and booking, we're probably not going to be able to increase your rate. And, if it gets really bad, we might have to suspend you from the offer. So we don't want that. But really the metric we're looking for is bookings. Empire, this isn't data we can share, but Empire tells us basically on a, per publisher basis, Henry, publisher A is great because, 40 or 50% of their paid calls turn into appointments. That's really good, or 60 or 70%. But publisher B wasn't good because they send us, 100 paid calls and only 10% booked appointments. That's not very good. Now, you're not going to be able to see that metric. That's true, which is why I stress the importance of communicating with us. If you think you can do better with a higher rate, ask me first, and please send in a good sample size of data before we make a decision. If you send in 3 paid calls and then ask me how your quality is, I probably won't be able to give you a good indication as to basically how good your quality is. If you send 25 or 50 or, hey, even better, 100 paid calls, now I have some sample size that I can go to the buyer and say, hey, Empire, how are these guys' calls? Are these paid calls turning into appointments? If they are, we're likely going to be able to increase your rate on our end. If not, we got to, go back to the drawing board, retarget. We need to make sure that they're booking appointments. I should mention that appointments are when the caller calls in, and this is really cool. Empire will send an agent to their home. And this is a kind of a good selling point, right? You're going to get the Empire agent to come to their house and walk them through all the samples. And we're going to go on to that right now. Oh, no, that's the sales. We'll go on to there a little bit later. But anyway, you want to emphasize bookings. We'll talk about the agents in a couple slides, but it's really exciting. So, and here is probably the biggest advantage that Empire has over other campaigns. Empire almost always has a sale or a promotion going on at any given time, and they usually extend them because they're so successful. Some campaigns will say, well, yeah, we might be able to do, 10% off in February or something like that. Empire always has a great sale going on almost all the time. And it's not like a 5% discount. Check this out. The 50-50-50 promotion going on right now will enable callers to save up to 50% of their flooring, their styles of flooring, basic installation, and standard materials. The biggest sale of the year, they get 50% off their entire project. And when you're talking about floors, you're not talking about chocolate bars or bottles of water. This is not a cheap project. So 50% savings is huge. Emphasize this. The sale goes on till the end of the year, and if they order by December 12th, so in about 3 weeks time or so, they get guaranteed installation by Christmas or it's free. I cannot stress how big this is. We don't often get to promote a campaign using the word free in any sense of the word. Here you're going to be able to. Now, obviously, don't say the whole thing is free, but if they order by December 12th, they get guaranteed installation by Christmas or it will be free. So Empire is really putting their money where the mouth is. They're saying if callers call by December 12th, we're going to install their carpet, their flooring, their laminate, whatever, by Christmas. This is perfect because Christmas, and I'm not sure Americans have Boxing Day. I don't think you guys do. But around the holidays, you're going to have family coming in and out. You want to make sure everything looks nice and that the project is all done. You don't want hammers lying around and tarps. And I don't really do much home construction business myself, so I don't really know what is lying around. But, I'm assuming it's buckets of paint and maybe, guys, in overalls talking about, I don't know, lunch or something. I don't know. Anyway, you don't want that around. You want nice, clean, pristine, new floors that are going to be nice and safe and fun to walk on and really impressive for the family. So keep that in mind. Empire almost always has great promotions and sales. They will be in the campaign overview. And if you're unsure about the details, please ask me. I'll be happy to find out for you. Okay, so here's some more crucial information when you are running Empire carpets. Ages 35 to 64 are the prime demographics. These are generally going to be homeowners. These are generally going to be people with careers. These are generally going to be people who are established or who have kids or investing in their home, looking for ways to improve it, make it safer, make it better. Keep that in mind. Ages 25 to 34 and 65 plus, it's not like we can't get any people from those ages going to Empire, but they're not generally the prime targets. Obviously, anyone younger than 25, you're looking at less and less likely that they're going to book an appointment. And those who are in their 70s and 80s, again, there's still going to be some, but not as many. So those are the prime ages, 35 to 64. Higher income, more preferable to lower income. Again, this isn't necessarily a cheap project. You're likely going to be spending at least a couple hundred, if not maybe even a couple $1,000s, depending on the size of the room and all that. So basically it doesn't have to be, the 1%. It doesn't have to be, Lord Montague with his monocle saying, good Lord, we need to refurbish the floor in the peasants' lounge or anything like that. But we are looking for people that are going to be able to spend money on home improvement. So a little bit of disposable income, likely dual income employed. So keep that in mind for sure. We go back to the word free. Estimates are free. So basically what I mean by that is when they make an appointment, that's free. There's no charge to talk to Empire. There's no charge to make an appointment, and an agent will come to their house. This is really cool. This is something you guys can promote. So you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to go to the Empire showroom. You don't have to worry about looking them up on Google Maps or find parking or anything like that. The agent will come to their house and leave some samples, or at least show some samples. Sorry, I shouldn't say leave samples because specifically the samples can't be left there. Sorry, it's a little bit of a typo on the slide. They're going to bring samples, but they're not going to leave the samples there. So but again, this is good because this comes back to the sense of urgency. An agent is going to come to their house and leave some samples, but they can't be left there. So you have to make sure the decision maker is present. I repeat that. The decision maker has to be present. That's powerful language. Decision maker makes callers feel empowered. Decision maker makes them feel, important. I'm a decision maker. I'm not just a customer. I have to decide what kind of sample I'm going to use. Usually it'll be a husband, wife, or some kind of partner combination as to what kind of, samples they like the best. But it's best that you sort of really increase the importance of this. Like you're going to make a booking. Somebody is going to come to you. Make sure you're ready because you're going to make a good decision here. So keep that in mind. This again goes back to the sense of urgency you really want to highlight. Crucial information part 2. So the residences that Empire can visit and install flooring, etc. are going to be apartments, townhouses, condos, or houses. This kind of surprised me. I just thought it was houses, but no, Empire will visit townhouses, condos, and even apartments. Now, obviously, if somebody's in an apartment, they have to get permission from the landlord, I imagine, to install a whole new flooring. That's a good way to get kicked out, even if it does look good. So yeah, probably don't want to target apartments, but if worse comes to worse and somebody does call in and they say, yeah, I've got permission, then go for it. Empire really isn't, it doesn't really discriminate that way. They can do condos as well, which kind of surprised me. Again, the condo person will probably have to get permission from the strata and all that stuff. But again, that's not really up to you. For you, your job is to provide the caller as much information cleanly as possible so that they're going to be excited when they call in and they're going to want to book an appointment. So this is really, really cool. The types of flooring that Empire can install or repair are carpeting, hardwood, ceramic, laminate, or tile. Publishers often ask me, like, what should my landing page look like? And I've stressed the importance of it being clean, no misleading information, but definitely depict some kind of information, some kind of assurance that the caller has landed on a good landing page. That, oh yeah, of course this is Empire Carpets because there's a picture of somebody installing flooring. There's a picture of a nice house with a happy family, or there's a picture of, somebody installing, I don't know. Whatever it needs to be, you need to put in some generic picture of each types of these flooring, or one or multiple select types of these flooring. Again, you want to reassure people that they've come to the right place, and you want to show off to the potential callers, look how good this looks. It's one thing for me to tell you how good my new hardwood looks, but show them a picture. Look how great this hardwood, the light is reflecting off of it, and it looks so, comfortable and safe and sophisticated. So definitely some pictures really jazz that up. So keep that in mind. Empire can also do repairs as well as installation. And the service appointments can usually be booked within 1 to 3 business days. You probably don't have to mention that. In fact, you may not want to say that it takes 3 business days just because that might turn some callers off, but it's important that you know that information. You can always say like, appointments, depending on how busy it is, they'll usually get back to you, they'll usually be able to make an appointment within a day or so. But if they've already booked the appointment, I doubt really they're going to say, yeah, 1 or 2 days doesn't really make too much of a difference unless it's, before Christmas. And again, we'll emphasize that date, December 12th. If they order by December 12th, the installation is guaranteed by Christmas or it's free. And we're up to our last slide already, guys. This has been a bit of a whirlwind, but I think we've got some good information in here. And this is really, really key. And when people want to get approved, you should pay attention closely to this. How do I get approved? You have to use the negative keyword list. Now, when you apply to the campaign, I would just mention really quick that I've watched Henry's webinar, and yeah, he told me the importance of the target regions and the negative keyword list. Do not use the negative keywords. Do not bid on them. Empire or us will find out, and you will be kicked off. No questions asked. Don't represent yourself as Empire. We've seen this before. They get caught. We catch them or Empire catches them. No good. You are an affiliate of ours. You're a publisher. You're not Empire themselves. So no branded search. Can't have Empire or Empire Today in the URL. Don't say we or our. Check the overview, the campaign overview, for a little bit more details. But you can say how great Empire is, call into Empire. Don't say us. Don't say we. Don't bid on Empire. Don't pretend you're Empire. It's not going to work. Trust me. We have a basic landing page that's available in the campaign overview, so you're definitely going to want to check that out. And that is about it. That's how you're going to get approved. Again, make the landing page nice and clean. Make sure it has relevant content on there. Make sure that there's not too many other ads on there. Pictures of flooring and laminate and ceramic and hardwood always help. This is how you're going to get approved, and this is how you're going to get calls. We've got some great promotion types, on Empire. Generally, paid search and SEO do the best right now. But who knows? You may have a promotion type that I didn't mention, or that's a little bit outside of the box. Just make sure to ask. A lot of our most successful partners have picked promotion types that are a little, out there, but as long as they get approved by us and the buyer, go for it if you think it'll work. And I think I've answered most of the questions I saw. And yeah, that's about it, guys. I hope this webinar has been very informative. We're planning on doing more marketing plan videos for other campaigns to try and help you find out what calls yield good quality, what are the best ones to avoid, how to get approved, things like that. So this has been Henry Skey for RingPartner University. Thanks very much for joining me, guys, and take care. We'll talk to you soon. One quick note I should mention, of course, you can follow us on YouTube. That's youtube.com/RingPartner. And then we're on Twitter @RingPartner, and you can find us on Facebook. Give us a call, give us an email, and a reminder that this is being recorded and will be shared with you. Thanks again. Take care.